Well, it's going to be hard to read, but I mean, they can only flip it one direction. So they'll come up and they'll be like, oh, that way. Okay. Maybe I have to label it better. Who knows? There's where it's going to sit. This wire right here, I'm just keeping it here for now, but I'm gonna have to run a small wire all the way to the trunk to operate this solenoid that's going back there. So this will be coming off, and this wire will be going to the starter, and this wire, which is coming from the trunk, this wire, which is coming from the trunk already, is going to connect here. And I think these other wires can go on the other side of this, because this is just going to be a block. It's just going to be for tying wires together. It's a junction box, really. That's all it is. Actually, this wire here goes down to the starter too, and it plugs in right here on the solenoid. And I think I'm gonna tie them together, right, these two wires together right here, because the solenoid's gonna be in the back. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me. But that solenoid is gonna put power to both of these, which is going to put power to both of these, which is going to start it. I don't see why I need two solenoids, but if I do for some reason need two solenoids, and I don't see why, I don't understand it, explain it to me. Tell me why I need them. Both. So I'm gonna, unless somebody tells me a good reason why I shouldn't, I'm gonna run this from the solenoid in the back to right here, which is gonna run to the starter, and then there's gonna be a 4-auger wire that comes from the back, comes up here and connects to this side to power this stuff that's going into the dashboard. That's the plan. This is not a solenoid anymore. It's a junction box. I'll probably cut this off just so it can't be confused. They're all kind of positive anyway, but I guess if somebody was to sit there and jump these, they could take that 4-auger wire and get power and put it to the starter right there, if someone doesn't know what they're doing, which would probably overheat that little wire that I'm going to put there. So I'll have to, I don't know what I'll have to do about that, but probably nothing. I'm not sure where to put this. Thinking right here with some self-tapping screws and get it below the floor, and then this wire for the starter, like I said, and it can connect on this side of the solenoid. Okay, that goes to the engine bay, and I connect that right there, and then this, I'm trying to remember the drawing. The battery, it'll come from the battery to this switch, and then off the switch to here, I believe. I'll have to double check that. And then the 4-auger wire will come from this side of the solenoid here. That's the opposite side of the starter wire, where the actual power is from the switch. That one will come from this side and go to the front to power all the auxiliary stuff. And whenever this switch is on, this will be getting power. And when I turn the key, this one will get a power. Alright, that is where I mounted the solenoid. The switch is here. So I'm going to go from the battery under here, back up to the switch, from the switch down to the solenoid. This is going to go to the starter when this is engaged, and everything else is going to probably get bolted onto right here to power everything. So when I flip the switch, this whole solenoid will be killed, and the whole, pretty much the whole car will be killed. So that's the plan. It seems pretty straightforward. So all I got to do now is run that 4-auger wire to the front, to that solenoid, and that'll power the rest of the car. This will power the starter. Oh, and I need to run a wire from the alternator. And I haven't exactly decided how I'm going to do that. Alright, we're under the car, obviously. And I got this coming out through here. And I really didn't think this through very good because if I bolt it anywhere, or if this chafes anywhere and it starts to like ground and spark, you know how when something hits it might spark with the ground if it gets wore out and starts hitting metal. And this is where the gas tank is at. And I thought about all kinds of different ways of routing it, going through the frame and stuff, and trying to get it up front even. Thought about welding a bolt back here somewhere, but I got enough cable. So I think I'm gonna probably just try to run it through the car, because every scenario I think of running it down here doesn't work out very good. So we're gonna start a different approach. Okay, change directions. So I got the positive going on that side, and I pulled the wire back through because I changed my mind. I'm gonna run the negative on that side, coming out the box there. So I got it pulled through there and around in there. It's pretty easy because it's a convertible, and then comes out here just like the one over there does. So I'm gonna go under the carpet now, right here, go under there, and then up through. I just made room by pulling the old ECM out, and I'm gonna come out the old ECM hole and then find a good place to ground it up here. Maybe even save it and ground it straight to the engine, which will be bolted in with hard mounts. And maybe I'll run another ground somewhere else so I can get the frame done, maybe through the engine. So that's the plan. Probably didn't see much of that, but I got it down underneath of there and up, and now I gotta tuck it down in there and pull it through the trunk. So I'm trying not to remove the trim over here, but oh, there it is. Looks like I got lucky. Look at that. Make sure it ain't kinking. I hope that's not hitting nothing on the... Alright, I got it all wired up. The last line I put in was a fuse link that runs the auxiliary stuff. And I still got to put together some of the trim and whatever, but I don't know if I'm going to even do that. So the radio is working now. It wasn't working before, and I didn't really record that. But the radio didn't work because this ECM, I pulled it out, and it has this plug and this plug connected to the ECM still. All these go to the engine bay, but it needs that ECM for the radio to run. And I don't know what else, because when I was checking, there was like 4 different fuses that weren't getting power in the fuse box. So I was thinking about it, and I plugged the ECM back in just to see if that's what it was, because I was like, well, it's probably got to be what it is. Well, that's what it was. So that is all I'm going to do for today and this part. So this will be the end of this video. Thanks for watching.